We've been telling you about Rutgers University under fire after apologizing, seemingly twice, I guess, for condemning anti-Semitic attacks. Now the university president stepping into the fray, insisting it was not an apology. In a new statement, he claims, "We have not, nor would we ever apologize for standing against anti-Semitism. At Rutgers, we believe that anti-Semitism, anti-Hinduism, Islamophobia, and all forms of racism, intolerance, and xenophobia are unacceptable wherever and whenever they occur." Campus reform correspondent and Rutgers University student Peter Cordi is here to react. Peter, thanks for being here. So they issued a statement condemning anti-Semitism, which we played earlier in the program. Then they went out and seemingly got backlash and wasn't pro-Palestinian enough, so they put out a pro-Palestinian statement. And now the president's weighed in and said, we disregard all hatred. What's it like to be on that campus with all these messages coming out?
Look, emotions have flared on all sides in the wake of the recent Israel-Palestine conflicts, and this has led to a massive rise in anti-Semitism online and in person, on and off campus. On Twitter alone, in the span of just 1 week, the Anti-Defamation League reports that there were over 17,000 tweets featuring the hashtag Hitler was right, on top of a sharp increase in violence and harassment against Jews. So my chancellor at Rutgers, I commend him for doing what he did, denouncing those widespread acts of anti-Semitism. But members of the Palestinian community were absolutely outraged, like you said. So this led to my chancellor having to apologize and having to go back and forth for the simple act of denouncing anti-Semitism, something that used to be uncontroversial, which leads me to ask, what about condemning acts of violence against Jews requires an apology? And why can't we just call it an apology?
Why can't they? Is it because faculty, others that are at places like Rutgers are openly anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian, and as a result, any university president making that, it was a very clear, good statement against anti-Semitism. There hasn't been a problem of people going and attacking Palestinian members in America. Why can't they just stand by the statement?
You're absolutely right. Israel is one of our closest allies, and there used to be almost unanimous support for the state, especially after the Second World War. Unfortunately, supporters of the Jewish refugee state are becoming the minority in college, and while it used to be uncontroversial to stand up for the Jewish community, today such an action, like you see, demands an apology. This is just one case in a growing trend of anti-Israel sentiment on campus. The Leadership Institute's campus reform has reported on numerous incidents at schools like Syracuse, where a professor and student were actually doxxed and threatened for their stance on Israel, as well as similar incidents at other schools like Berkeley in California.
Do you feel like as a student in university right now, there is, if not overt, sort of a quiet anti-Semitism, a belief that the state of Israel is an apartheid state, is not legitimate? I mean, do you feel is there a sentiment of that?
Absolutely. It's especially our professors, but also celebrities that they've been putting Jews into the class of privileged oppressors. And when you have people in positions of societal authority pushing actual Hamas propaganda, the claim that Israel is targeting hospitals and schools to kill civilians, the emotional youth will passionately pick a side. But this is the kind of rhetoric that led to the scapegoating and organized violence against Jews in 20th century Europe. And as the saying goes, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. As a lover of humanity and a student of Jewish descent, that troubles me deeply. The leftists who claim to be on the right side of history should really study it more.
Great point. Maybe look up what Hamas stands for before you say maybe LGBT groups supporting Hamas or the Palestinian Authority, when if you were gay or lesbian there, you would not be alive. Maybe just check the facts for one quick second. Peter Cordi, thank you very much for speaking up. Good luck at Rutgers.
Thank you.